lot of guys know what to do in their marriage. They just don't do it. People get divorced. They cheat for one reason. It's not because they're not feeling safe and secure. It's because they don't feel seen. With another guy who would unleash that in them.
That's right, and that's what pisses me off.
I know.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, I got a real treat for you. Garrett J. White back for a second visit, I believe.
Round two. I think the last one was a couple years ago.
Folks, if you guys don't know Garrett White, he's the founder, Wake Up Warrior. He's the one that inspired a lot of the whole, guru movement, if you ask me. Trains thousands of men on how to basically become better husbands, better frickin' men.
Yep.
And quite frankly, now it seems like, you're everywhere with the Wake Up Warrior and the Warrior Fit and the Warrior this and the Warrior that, Warrior on Fire. And now, dude, you're starting this huge tour called Man in the Arena.
Yes.
What's that about?
So 13 years ago when I launched Warrior, I was like one of the only guys in the space with men. We were selling business, people were selling business training, spiritual training, personal development in different areas, but nobody had put it all together at one. There wasn't like a location. So you go back to 2012 when we launched, from 12 to about 17 or 18, we were it. Then COVID hits about 2019, and everybody sees that there's money in training businessmen in this transformation work, because nobody had done it before. It was like Tony was doing the Tony events and that was it, but nobody was charging big ticket $50, $100, $250,000 to high-end businessmen who are married with kids to come figure out how to get their shit straight across all boards, all areas of life. By 19, though, it was now a trend. So by 1920, you watched through COVID, there were literally hundreds of guys now leading men's movements. And I was super pissed about it back in the day. I was like, fuck all of you. You're fucking just copying my shit. You're copying my marketing, you're copying my sales strategies, copying everything, copying our programs. And then I matured and lost my eyesight. My testicles got smaller because I take too much testosterone. All at once. And I saw something different, which was, okay, how many guys are there really? I mean, think how many married dudes within just 10 miles of this studio right here? I don't even know what the fucking number is, but there's thousands of them.
2.2 million.
That's a lot. And you go to Miami where I live now, just look out in my backyard at the condos everywhere. There's just guys everywhere. And the truth is, like, the problem with men's getting worse and getting better at the same time. It's like, seems to be like going in two directions. So now I'm in this place where I'm like, listen, I'm now almost 50. I'm like, I've gone through my war season where I want to fucking sue everybody, hate everybody, get in fights with everybody. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm not doing this anymore. So the last 4 or 5 years, just kind of focused on my lane. But we got in the last year clear about what it would look like to syndicate the men's space. What would happen if you got the top 10 to 15 to 20 guys that really do this and you got them to line up instead of fight each other? Like Genghis Khan style, only not killing everyone and taking their women. It's like, what if that could happen? I was like, and I was in enough abundance finally in my energy, my soul, with my identity to be able to put myself in a place, say, hey, this will be better for more men if we do this. If we don't play individually, we get together.
Yes, it's like collaborate.
Yes.
Instead of compete.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you collaborate a ton, but did you go through the competitive phase and the collaborative phase for yourself too? I have to imagine you did.
No.
Did you always collaborate?
I got there pretty quick. I went out on the road to start kicking everyone's ass in the sales training space. Mm-hmm. Grant Cardone, Joe Verdi, Tom Hopkins, Tom Stuker, all these freaking people. I was going to go crush them. Well, I realized very quickly with my software that I built for me originally that, that's an uphill battle, dude. And they got much bigger budgets, and man, it sucked. So I just asked a couple times at a car dealership I was sitting at, and they're like, we use Joe Verdi or Grant Cardone. And I'm like, so if I had Grant on this platform, you'd do it? And they're like, well, yeah. And I said, I thought, why don't I just go get Grant to get on my platform and take a little piece of his revenue and let him go get all the dealers. Yeah. So I went and closed the dude that teaches you to close. And I started being the closer of the closers.
Well, if you look at what's happened in men's space, I finally got to the same realization just a few years later than you. The same space. It was like I was into compete, my shit. And truly, I had like a spiritual awakening in the last 3 years where God became like a real thing for me. And I got shook. And that took plant medicine and psychedelics to shake me up. I wasn't going to be shaken up any other way. I needed to get high as balls and have an out-of-body experience over and over like 26 times to get to this place to start seeing things from that place.
But you might also accidentally be competing too.
Yeah.
Because like when a lot of these get out on the stage, especially compared to your shit, because I've seen and heard your shit, they're gonna pale in comparison. It's like, you know, walking out with a fucking 9-inch thickie and you know your buddy's got a little fucking 3-inch chub and you're like, yeah, let's do her together. I don't want to fight for her. What? What's up? Pull yours out. You know, there might be a little of that going on. It depends on who you have in the arena. But I like the name, Man in the Arena.
Well, it started like it was. I had thought about doing it at the end of 2025. I got it last year, like a year and a half ago. I was like, I'm going to start doing this because there's a handful of 8 or 9 of the top guys right now of the top 25 or 30 in the men's space that are either proteges of mine or they're direct students of mine. And so I had great relationships with them. I helped them build. I watched them build. I support them in building. And then there was a bunch of guys that had been inspired by what I had done that went and did their own thing. So there was kind of some respect there too, which I was actually unaware of. I was unaware of until I started putting this down and actually going out and talking to everybody and like just find out what's up, which is interesting because I never had this energy of, it was always an energy of, hey dude, just so you know, the reason I'm not speaking on your stage right now is because I'll fucking burn your whole stage down. Like I was clear there were moments I was not being invited into things because it's like I'm inviting a set guy at a comedy that's like better than the comedian. That's the problem. I've been to a couple comedy shows like that where the guy warming everybody up was so fucking good that the headliner was like outshadowed. But that was kind of in my own head too, because I still was still playing from this place of look at me, I'm the fucking guy. And I got broke, dude. Like I like God broke me. Like he broke me. It wasn't even nice either. And it required my wife as part of that to break me, because she'd come to me 2 years ago, like just dead on, looks me straight in the eyes. Puts her hands on my chest, said, I can't feel you anymore. Like, I don't know where the fuck you've gone, but I can't feel you. And I haven't been able to feel you for about a year. So my obsession with creating and also trying to figure out this thing of like getting out of my own way, I didn't know how to do that. Like I was so fucking in my way, I didn't know how to get out of my way. And I kept hearing this prompt like, I need you to let go of warrior, which I thought let go of the business, burn it to the ground because that's my mentality forever. And he's like, no, I need you to let go. Give it back to me. It's not yours. You didn't build this shit. You think you're smart to build this shit? I was like, no, man, I've burned this to the ground 1,000 times. Exactly. I built this. You're my weapon. Now, let go. Let go. And Danielle looks at me during that and she said right to my face, like my wife and I are very fierce with each other with truth right now. And she says, I can't do this anymore. If I can't feel you, I can't be with you anymore. Because I'm hot, I'm 40, she's 39 at the time. She's like, I'm beautiful. I make a couple millionaire myself. I made all these babies. If you can't figure out how to get through your shit so I can feel you, I'm not going to be here anymore. And I don't like it. For 6 months, I've been thinking about fucking other men. I'm not going to do that because I'm too high quality of a woman to do that to you.
She said that to you?
Yeah.
Dang.
I took it hard on that one. Dude, that could put me on my heels for a month.
That'd get me in a bad mood.
Yeah, it did get me. It get me in a very backwards mood. It was like it wasn't even bad. It was just like struggling to figure out what the fuck is happening right now. And a lot of guys are being hit this way, but have no tools to deal with themselves. And more than that, they're so isolated. I at least had a network of people I could lean into. I had tribes I could lean into. I had a brotherhood I could lean into. I had guys that I was very open with what was happening. All my students, all my teams, I was like, here's what the fuck's going on. I've always told you guys the truth about what's my life. Here's my life on display. Make fun of it, mock it, do whatever you want. My experience is 95% of guys are experiencing some level of what I'm experiencing, that I'm not abnormal and I'm not alone in it. So Man in the Arena is like our first time coming together our last big event we did was 2022. Prior to that, we were doing 1,500, 2,000 men events every single year for about 6 straight years. And then we went underground with software, focused on the tool to be able to support the guys. And now we're coming back out. Only I'm not doing it by myself this time, which makes it fun. It's fun for me. It's also interesting to watch when you start talking about doing arena events with 7,000 guys. Everybody and their dog now is texting me to be part of it.
Sure, everybody.
And I get it. I understand it. Because it's hard to put 7,000 people in a room. That takes teams and skills and sales and marketing and ads and a whole lot of commitment, just like building software. You know, you don't build Lightspeed VT just because you woke up on a Thursday and decided to launch on Friday.
Oh, indeed. You know, there's several that have tried, and now they're some of our best customers.
I believe it. Because with software, there's no... I'm from the outside. If you never built software, you don't fucking... I've been in software for 10 years. I'm in Lightspeed VT for 5 minutes as a user, like 3 months ago, and respect what it does already because I understand how hard it is to build software to make it look easy. And that's what we've done with Warrior for the last 13 years. People look what I do from Sage or how we work with men are like, looks easy. I could do that. And then dudes try and burn out, try, burn out, try, burn out. They don't know the weight and pressure, what it takes to lead a bunch of dudes who are fucking trying to find themselves.
Well, you've been doing this since 2012.
Yeah.
What were you doing before that?
So the 4 years before that was my dark days.
But who were you? What were you doing?
I was lost as fuck for 4 years. Prior to that, I was in mortgages and real estate and insurance for 10.
You're just a regular dude.
Just a regular dude, just selling, just skinny dude. Selling shit with a sales floor, and that's it.
Because I remember, like, when I first saw you, you had, like, chains or some shit, and you were saying some good shit, but you weren't really there yet.
No.
Then like, what gave you the idea to, hey, let's start? But you already had a good, framework down.
Yeah.
So how did you get from selling that shit to the framework to the studio with the chain link fence and shit?
So if you look at the progress of a man, all of us, peaks, pits, peaks. Like I rose in a peak, 31, 32. Thought I was a shit, thought I ran the game, get motivated seminars, I'm speaking, I'm thinking I've fucking accomplished it. I'd never lost. From 2000 to 2008, never lost. Always won. Could always sell more. Then, of course, we are on the edge of the risk of everything. And when the pendulum swung the other direction, me and my entire company was fucking wiped out. And I was a stupid entrepreneur at the time. I wasn't even an entrepreneur. I was a hitman. Trying to pretend like I was an entrepreneur and a CEO. I didn't know how to do any of that. So I tried to save the company with all our money from the business, and we started taking more borrowing money to try to save the company, not letting anyone go, keeping everyone there, continuing to lose fucking money month after month, lose $1 million, lose $1.5 million, keep losing. Then I'm gonna get a better idea. I'm gonna take all my money and I'm gonna save my baby. So I take all my money to save the baby, and then I borrow more money against my name to try to save the company, only to inevitably lose everything. So then by the summer of 2008, all gone. 2008 to 2012 was me trying to figure out who the fuck I was. An affair, addiction, leave the religion I was raised in, and I'm just face down in this darkness. Like no clue what to do, no clue who I am, no clue where to go, no clue who to listen to. And that was like the genesis of what Man in the Arena or Wake Up Warrior or any of the other brands that are playing, Lions Not Sheep, I Am a Comeback, Superhuman Fathers, Rise Up Kings, The Edge, Man Wealth. All these programs were birthed from a guy who decided to find one thing. Who the fuck am I really? I was willing to put my marriage on the line, put everything. I was like, I can't do this different. I can't go do normal business again. Just can't do it. My mentors were good guys. It helped me make money. When it came to how they treated their wives, how they treated people, they were just whores for money. And that's what I was trained. I was trained to be a whore for money. I just didn't want to be poor. But here I was, poor and no network and no money and nothing for 2 years. And I just ran. Got into ultra running. I was 170 pounds. I was just running. My wife's like, what are you running from? I was like, I'm not running. She's like, you're literally fucking running like 25 miles every day. What the fuck's wrong with you? You look like you're dead in a concentration. Look at you. You're like fucking skinny. So you're like just bone. But it was in those running that I found this voice. Like I could just feel it. And after about 10 miles of running, my brain would shut off. All the problems would go away. I'd be too fatigued and tired. And I started feeling this voice talking to me. I didn't know whose voice it was. I didn't know where it was coming from. Didn't really have a foundation in God. Didn't have a foundation, just called the voice. So Warrior from 2012, that same voice said, turn on your camera and share. So I did, and I started posting videos on Facebook. Nobody was doing that at the time. This is 2012. Like my guys now like make fun of my shit back then. I'm like, dude, you don't understand, back in the day, we couldn't just pull our fucking cell phones out and have 19 apps and go live stream with 700 filters, make everyone look beautiful. I was like trying to figure out how to do lighting, and I thought I needed more lighting so I could light up the backdrop. So I had like 27 lights, all fucking shiny, still looked like shit. I didn't know what I was doing. Then kept going with this obsession. keep going, keep going, keep going. I saw visions back then of this place that I couldn't understand, which is where I'm at now. Like, I saw this. What's happening right now with Man Arena, I saw 15 years ago. Just like the visions you have with Lightspeed VT and the things you saw 20 plus years ago, there's a thing that has you keep going. Like, why did you keep going? Software's hard as fuck, bro. Why did you keep going?
Well, I wasn't there yet. I didn't arrive yet. Yeah. It's kind of like when you get up in the morning to go take a pee. You know, why don't you just stop in the kitchen? Why do you get all the way to the bathroom?
You could piss in the sink. Have you ever pissed in the sink?
Sure, but why don't you?
Because it's not done. I know where it's supposed to go into the bathroom. I'm pissing in the toilet.
Yeah, I'm heading somewhere, and I want to get there. And if I don't, and I crash, I'd almost rather crash than settle.
And that's how I felt too. So people watch the moves I make and think it's risky. Like us moving our family and companies from Orange County to Miami 4 months ago, that was a prompt. Like I felt prompted to go. Didn't know Man Arena Tour was coming. That was me and Dan Fleischman sitting down at my house with his girl Erica and their baby. We were just talking. We were just hanging out, just talking for like 4 hours, and then conversation led to one piece to another. And I was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna do this event at the end of the year." And he goes, "Man, I got this thing called Man Arena. I've been thinking about for 4 years." He pulls out his notes on his phone. There's like 17 pages of ideas. And I was like, I go, dude, if anybody's going to lead this thing, you're looking at him. He's like, oh, let's go.
So how would you describe it in a sentence?
Unification and transformation of men. Men that are not unified with other men fucking die. And the worst is they don't die. They just die to living. They just survive. Most guys don't have networks. They don't have people to lean on. They don't have, and even the guys they run with, they go drink beers with or whatever, most of these relationships are friends. Friends are not enough. True friends are brothers. These are dudes that like 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody's down with some shit. You're like, let's go. These are people like, hey, I'm fucking everything up in my life right now, and everybody will run from that guy, except for a brother. Brother's like, listen, dude, you're my guy. That's it. Like, you're fucking doing stupid shit right now, but I'm in, and I'll take the heat for it.
It's like a motorcycle club.
Yeah.
Without the motorcycles.
Without the motorcycles. Exactly. And that kind of camaraderie most guys don't have. And when you put them into an environment, we've done this with thousands of men several times. The energy of this room, like take a 10,000 person event, right? 10X GrowthCon's about to happen. And that event of 6,000, 7,000 people there. Men, women, all diverse ages. I can take 500 to 800 men, blacked out, same gear, roll them in to a room. That room is more powerful than a room of 10,000 people. You don't need any rock concerts. You don't need any musicians. You don't need pyrotechnics. You don't need any of that shit. You just need a room with leaders that can get men to be open and honest. And in that place, a primal nature will unleash a man that he can't do on his own. Can't find it on his own. Because by himself, he's left in just a box of mirrors trying to look at himself. How the fuck am I supposed to see myself right now? All I see is the shit I don't like. And I feel isolated and alone in this place. Most dudes are distanced from their wives. They don't know how to communicate with her. They don't know how to communicate and raise their kids in social media right now. It's fucking confusing. My daughters have gone through it. Like when living in California, it was just constant bombardment. Maybe I'm gay. Maybe I'm straight. Maybe I'm this. Maybe I'm that. Maybe I'm pansexual. Maybe I'm what? As a father, you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? How am I supposed to even deal with this shit? I don't even know how. There's no coaching on this. Call your parents. Hey, Dad, what should I do? Mom, take away their phones.
Get them out of school.
Get them out of school. Take out their phones, which we did. We did the homeschooling path. I'm like, how the fuck? And most dudes that I meet day to day, no matter how powerful they are, they're lost. I had to gather in my house. There's like 100 top guys from Miami. It's the same fucking conversations. Half these guys are divorced for the third time. We got guys sitting in situations of chaos in their marriage just trying to figure out. These dudes make tens of millions of dollars a year. Some of these guys are doing $800 million a year in revenue. And the same fundamental problems. And then we isolate. And the problem is the more you make and the more successful you get, you'll have a ton of associations. But getting through to another guy and allowing him to feel safe, for you and I to feel safe, to be with each other. Like, we're open with each other, very open. There's another level of open that can happen when you have two guys who are like, okay, all the bravado off for a second. Cameras are off. Nothing's being recorded. Dude, how are you, man? Like, for real. Like, where are you for real? And when that kind of energy opens up, guys have a chance to be free. So the output of the Man Arena is free men. And there's a lot of people yelling about it. And they're good. Andy Frisell is preaching from the rooftops. You preach from the rooftops. There's a ton of guys that are broadcasting that's waking guys up. But I play a different game. Waking guys up is easy. We need people to wake up, broadcast. But then comes the hard part. It's like somebody wants to be an entrepreneur. You can get them to be excited about being an entrepreneur. Then there's being a successful entrepreneur. And there's people want to coach 2 levels. I want to wake you up to be an entrepreneur, or I want to work with established entrepreneurs. The middle is where fucking carnage is. Very few consultants want to step into this place because you're dealing with a bloodbath of transformation of a man, the consequence of business, his own ignorance. Warrior stepped right in the middle. I stopped being the wake-up guy because that was easy. I want to figure out, how do you keep guys to stay awake? How do I get a man to care about staying awake? How do I get him to want to be weaponized? Not motivated, not positive. How do you get a man to choose power?
How did you?
With the process we created. Because that was the piece, I was the first candidate of my own process. Like, how do I do this for myself? What do I do with all these dark thoughts? And my daughter one day, she comes in, she's like, I'm having all these intrusive thoughts. Like, the kids nowadays get permission to talk about all this shit that we all experience. It's just, we never talked about it. Like, intrusive thoughts, what do you mean? Well, I get crazy thoughts. I don't know, my daughter, who's the youngest, she's 3, she was a newborn. I say, do you mean like the thought in my mind when I'm walking up the spiral staircase to go put her in her crib and there's this weird thought that comes in my mind, what would happen if the baby flew off the balcony and laid on her face? Like that weird thought, or like I'm driving down the road with all of you in the car and this part of my brain's like, what would happen if we just went off this fucking bridge? She's like, oh my God, Dad. I was like, yeah, we've been intrusive thoughts in our generation too, and I still get them. We just didn't get permission to say, I'm hurting, I need to sit in my room and suck my thumb.
Does that mean you're hurting?
Yeah, you can. I don't have hurting with those though.
Me either. The other day I thought something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just like, what if?
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't realize that was a problem.
I didn't either.
I mean, does that mean I'm dark?
That means you're real.
Yeah.
That means you're a human.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? It was like, when you said that, I was like, I just did that the other day. I forget who it was. I know who it was. It was my little 3-year-old. And it was something like, what if she fell?
Yeah.
Or what if,
well,
she
your mind will play it out too. We were right over on the ocean on the intercoastal in our house, and we don't have ladders on like against our deck that goes up. You have to like dock the yacht and then get on, or you have to. We don't have a fucking ladder, and our dog had fallen in the water the first night we moved in. And I had to jump in the ocean to save this dog because the girls are all screaming and just panicking, but there's no way to get up. So I got to swim this fucking dog all the way down around the neighborhood to another house, had a ladder, and try to climb them out. Well, I'm sitting out there last week with my 5-year-old, and she's jumping around on the fence, and I'm thinking to myself, this child falls in here. What if she falls in? I'm like, are the gates fucking unlocked? Because my brain can only see my drowning babies in the water. My mom plays a whole scenario out. Drowning babies. I'm like, what would happen if and then I'll play through like, what if my wife got shot and killed? Like, where would I go? Would I date someone else? What would I do? How would I operate? I'm not spending tons of time thinking about it. It just happens.
Yeah, is that bad though?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
I didn't think so.
What this was a part, dude, take a fun one with sex and sexual triggers. Like your wife watches you with a hot woman that walks by. Your wife knows she's hot. My wife knows she's hot. Then guys do the fuck up thing I used to do, which is I'm at the beach. You can't ignore the ass that just walked by. In Miami, you can't ignore them at all. There's just BBLs everywhere. So you got ass everywhere, tits out, and you're at the beach. Your wife watches you. She sees you see her, and then she asks you the question. Were you looking at her? Now, you know you were looking at her. Every guy was looking at her. But now comes the lie. No, baby, I'm not looking at her. Oh, you think she's hot? No, she's not. No, baby, you're so hot. Like you're, and you do the opposite. I used to do all this backwards shit. Now she'll be like, did you look at her? Yes. Is she hot? Uh-huh. Did you have a sexual thought about her? Definitely. And? It's like, it's part of being a dude.
Well, yeah, but I got a technique.
Okay, give it to me.
Well, I mean, I jump in front of it. So like when the girl walks by, I look and then I go, babe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Like, I bet you she thinks her ass is so fun. And then then it allows me just to watch it. I almost jump in front of it.
It's a great move.
But again, I mean, my wife seems to be cool in that respect.
Well, because you're being open and honest. This is the whole point. Is
I almost act like it's not nice.
Yeah.
It's almost like, do you see that type of, that was a bad example of what I do, but like, you're right with, you can't help but look, especially when they're just fine as ass.
Well, bro, we're sitting at Ty Lopez's house at a party in his backyard, and he decides to put on a lingerie show. I didn't know he was doing a lingerie show. I don't think he even knew he was doing a lingerie show. So they picked a bunch of girls from the party to like model some lingerie for one of his buddies that had a lingerie line. And we're sitting right in the like little box up by with his mom, and we're just hanging out. And then just damn near naked girl after naked girl. And my wife's sitting right next to me. And I'd already like gone down this path a couple of years ago. So I was the same thing with her, and she's like, she's hot. I was like, yeah, she is hot. There's no energy around it.
I just go, meh.
Yeah.
Only because, like, dude, it would, like, I don't know if I'd go that far where, yeah, she is hot. Boy, would I fucking jack that. I think, like, and I wouldn't want my wife to do it, but I'm still immature.
Yeah, here's the thing. Women are triggered too. The crazy part is I think women are more triggered by powerful men who own their certainty. It's less about body. The body's part of it, but it's less about it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't enjoy my wife going, I'd like to suck his dick.
Yeah,
like, I'd be what? She wouldn't even be my wife if she said that more than once.
I get it. But the women are never, most women aren't going to talk that way anyways. But guys, our entire language.
But they might think it.
They're definitely thinking it.
See? Bitch. She better never let me know that she's thinking it. Because, dude, I'm weird like that. Like, to me, I don't care. Like, I'd rather be single with all the options than with one that wants to do shit with other dudes.
Well, I think it's less about the doing and more about, hey, you had the thought.
Well, again, I mean, I'm smart enough to know, like, she probably finds other men attractive. Yeah. But if she tells me, and it's obvious, I'll blow that bitch out. Yeah, I would. I'd tell my wife, look, we're done. Yeah. She's like, why? Because you don't like me.
Yeah, well, I'd
be all insecure and shit.
Well, listen, we have a policy, Danielle and I, is real simple, and it's like a yearly thing when we go on our anniversary trip, which is real simple. Am I still your number one choice? Like, yes or no? If I'm not, I'll be the first one to pack your bags. That's it. I'm not playing second base. Like, I'm not playing second in this game. And are you still my number one choice? We started playing this a couple of years back because we had gotten both to a place of really deep abundance with ourselves and knowledge of who we are. And it really happened the last 2 years after the collision with her. And she called me out. I needed to be called out. I needed to. And guys need to be called out. A lot of times it's scary for women to call their men out. Like, it'd be really intimidating as your wife to actually tell you the full truth. Because
she'd never do it.
Well, that's because it's a challenge. Because, like, if you look from a woman's perspective, she's being cared for, taken care of. She has the babies. She's home. You're the provider, the protector. The element flips a bit once she makes her own money. Like, and I watched that happen with guys too, which is now she's got the financial power to take care of herself, and the dynamic flipped, and that flipped for us. Because my wife knows she can go make a couple million a year without me. So the minute that happened, now she wants to make 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times more than her because she still wants to feel kept, but she also has that little nugget in her pocket, which is like, I can take care of myself if I had to. Now, I think every woman can figure that out. But this whole thing of desire is what you're saying. This is what I'm saying too. I want to be wanted. Hey, if you don't want me, you want somebody else, and yeah, this doesn't work anymore. If you're inspired by something else, you say, okay, that's one thing. If you're saying that I'm not the number one choice anymore, yeah, I'm not going to play.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Because again, dude, we're trading them all for one.
I know.
And that one better be mighty good.
Yeah. Well, and that becomes a challenge for most of the men. And you have dialed yours in. I've dialed my relationship in. 95% of guys have not. So even the ones that get divorced, they go on their benders for 6 months to a year, and then they're miserable and feeling alone because they really want a partner, that they can feel that wantingness. I think that's why guys go to porn.
And they want a good one that they can trust.
100%.
But still, I think people deep down, there's a little fraction of me, I don't trust any of them.
For sure. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna try. I'm definitely not having my wife go to jujitsu lessons with some like fit, attractive Brazilian dude.
Hell no. Or a male masseuse even.
No. Even a trainer at the gym.
People say I'm insecure and I'm immature, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm just telling you the truth. The truth is, no, you don't want a haircut. Stay out the barber shop.
So here's the fun part, right? Think about it this way: do you have a problem with a female massaging you?
No, not at all.
Do you have a problem with a male massage your wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like gay guy only.
No dude at all.
I'm good with the gay guy.
Well, if he was really gay and I knew he was like totally gay, then yeah, go ahead.
Because as I experienced,
but I'd prefer industry, not at all.
Yeah.
If there's a wiener in the room and I'm not in the room,
and your wife's body's naked being rubbed.
Yeah.
It's kind of have you ever thought about how weird it is that you don't even know who this person is and you're just rolling into a place and then you get naked and it's rubbing your body?
Well, for me, not really. And she doesn't have to be a hot female either. Like yesterday, I just got a massage and she walked out and she looked like,
she was large and in charge.
She was old.
Probably had good hands.
She actually surprisingly, it was the worst.
Oh, it sucks.
But man, the good massage is a good massage. But in Dubai, I'd go in and get a massage, and this place gave great massages to where like they're so close, they're pretty much bumping it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they're getting deep.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, like, she's like, how was your massage? I'm like, mine was awesome. What, are you kidding me? She's like, well, to me, if my wife said to me, you can have sex with another chick, I probably wouldn't. Is that odd?
Yeah. Listen, I'm around guys right now in open relationships. I'm around guys in closed relationships. I can't do the open.
Yeah, me either. Only because I know if I did that, there will be a problem.
Yes.
Or worse, if I did that, what if she's saying I can, so she can?
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Yep.
Again, dude, if anyone can bang my girl but me, I don't want the girl.
Yep.
Is that normal?
That's how I feel.
But that's normal?
I'm the exact same way I feel.
You're not fixing that in a man?
No. Listen, at the end of the day, there's one thing guy wants: to be wanted and be number one with his woman. The only reason a lot of this stuff opens up in relationships, in my experience with hundreds and hundreds of guys I know in open relationships, is because the shit's not working. It's not working. And so they're trying to find some other thing to spark the thing.
Why don't they just break up?
Exactly. Because they're scared of the safety and security and the comfort. There are guys right now I know, beautiful girlfriends, telling me how much they want to still be with their wives, but they got the beautiful girlfriend. They're like, I don't know what to do. I got the beautiful girlfriend in Miami, and I got the wife in New York, and I'm not sure what to do. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Neither one of these things are real right now for you. You got the girlfriend, that's not real, because she knows any minute you'll run back to your wife. And on the second token, your wife knows you're out of town with the girlfriend, and she's feeling stressed out. You're not getting either of these women right now. Both of these women are both sitting on their heels going, where is he going? I was like, the only way to solve this is to elevate you up here and have you make a decision, because you may find out you don't want either of them. His girlfriend or your wife. Or you may decide that you just want your girlfriend, and you're going to be serious over here, or you're going to be with your wife, you can be serious over here. This shit's happening everywhere, dude. Like, it's rough. It's what, but guys are so desperate to feel something. And I thought it was sex. I thought that's what the game was. They just want to have sex. It's not.
What is it?
Being wanted. It's why I'm convinced that's why porn is such an addictive thing, because it's not sex happening. It's not penetration. It's the eyes. It's that look. Given that most of them are acting and they're doing it, maybe some of them are real. But it's the eyes. It's the woman wanting to be with this guy. Desiring what's happening, submitting to what's occurring. I'm convinced of this with the much data as I have on guys, that is the thing the guys are actually after, because that's what I found for myself too.
Well, I mean, of course.
The wanting from my wife. I want the eyes.
Yeah, like if your girl says, hurry up, it's like, it doesn't feel the same.
Not at all. Well, and you can have a body. You can have sex with your wife, have a body. Or you can be like having passionate connection, making love, and she's actually into it with you. That's why guys get off on their wives coming.
Usually got to be drunk though for that.
Yeah, it depends. I don't think we could have got there. I don't think we could have got there without alcohol. I don't think my wife could have broke out of her shell.
Well, I don't think I've ever done it like that, unless I was drunk. Does that mean I've never been in love? I mean, dude, when you're talking about making love, like that's like freaking slow motion and wonderful and soft and lovely. And then, you got to be drunk for that.
It's sometimes. I think a lot of times you have to be. And I don't
Or
think
in
it's
love.
I don't think it's because of the guy either. I think a woman has to be there.
Well, maybe your first 3-4 times.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, when you're married to someone for 10 years,
Yeah.
you got kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, you just got to get it in.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no more love making.
Does it change? Have you guys gone on vacation without the kids?
Not in a long time.
So that's why a lot of guys get addicted to vacation sex, because they can get away from the children. Like what happens on vacation for Danielle is like about 2 days, 3 days into vacation.
It's still not love making.
It becomes
then
that.
it's fucking.
Well, it's fucking and love makes all of it. But it happens because the woman unplugs. She'll start being herself without kids. The stress goes, anxiety goes about the kids. About 5 days in on vacation, the business questions and stress will go away. About 6 days in for Danielle and I, we actually returned to this state like when we first met. It's like we've forgotten we have kids. We'll even go a day when I even FaceTime the kids. We got 5 of them. Because we're just we're reminding ourselves. But that's why we have to go on vacation like at least every quarter for a week. Just because it's how fast life's moving and how fast it's going. Our toddler, we have 2 toddlers, 2 teenagers, and a 25-year-old. It's a fucking shit show at every single level. And that gets so easy to get whipped up into this frenzy. And then it does just become surviving. Now, great woman is in a relationship with a guy. She's going to see it, release it. She might not be even into it, but she can see that he needs it, he wants it, and so she might act. We talked to women about this too. I was like, how many times are you actually like moaning for real? They're like, not much. I was like, I know, but guess what? He wants to hear it even if it's fake. So just
I'd
give
love
it to
to
him.
fucking get the truth.
Yeah. Well, the truth is underneath what we have seen and what we studied with men for the last 13 years. Most women have been sexually shut down. They're shut down. Most guys feel rejected. And because they feel so rejected, most of the shit they do continually encourages the shutdown. So then you have them in this survival game of how the fuck am I supposed to fix this? We've been together 15 years. We got 4 kids. I don't know what to do with this. And then it's either choose to just surrender. This is how it's going to be forever. Which inevitably now you look at divorce statistics. What's happening in that phase is mama's just waiting for the kids to get out of the house so she can divorce them. That's it. I'm out. That's why there's this 75% divorces right now are filed by women in their late 40s, early 50s.
That's a real statistic.
Yes, filed by women.
Where do they think they're going?
I don't know.
Do they think Mr. Super Dong's out there, Mr. Sweetheart Super Dong?
I think they're just trying to get out of the situation. I don't even think they have a fantasy of something else. I think it's more of just, I got to get out of this game with this guy. And the guy...
Don't you wish you just would, like, know the truth?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I wish I could just read the truth. I wonder how many divorces there would be then.
Well, if people could tell the truth from the beginning, which is the focus we've had for the last 13 years, which is how do you get a guy to actually own 100% of his truth? And that's hard. And it's hard to own it yourself. Then it's hard to own it with other guys. Because of feeling like you're an idiot or you're stupid, which is why things like Man Arena Tour work, because these events create conditions for guys to be able to be honest without the pressure of their wife, the pressure of their kids, and not feeling like they're in an environment with a bunch of dudes that are going to judge shit out of them because they're going through the same shit. But when I tell my truth, if my truth resonates with your truth and I'm open about my truth and you're not open about your truth, it will cause you to feel a certain kind of way. And the natural reaction is either to make fun of, persecute, or push away. Because I don't want to be exposed. I'm like, oh, fuck. So we get uncomfortable. Like dudes getting around dudes. If a dude starts crying, most of the dudes will be like, you're okay. You're all right. You're all right. It has nothing to do with you trying to help that guy. It has to do with they're uncomfortable themselves. So when you start to get to truth with you, then it's like, can you be truthful with other men? And if you can do that, then can you be truthful with your wife? What do you want? What are you really thinking? What are you really feeling? And I have inside of our Tools of Warrior, we have a tool called stacking where guys are typing their feelings in every day. We had 1.2 million stacks done this year inside the app in the last 12 months. Guys just dealing with their shit. Like, how do I deal with this? And 50% of those are sex and intimacy and marriage. Guys are frustrated. My wife this. I can't figure it out. She's like a fucking moving Rubik's Cube. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't understand it. I fucking work so hard. I provide. I take her on a date. I have to do all the things. And she's still a closed box vagina. How am I supposed to deal with this? And they're just
be a
hurting.
man.
Exactly, right? How? Talk to her. Put it on the line. We'll ask guys, hey, if this continues this way sexually, would you leave her? 80% say yes. 20%, no, I would never divorce her. Then you're fucked. Because the leverage isn't going to leave you. If you don't have the power to take a stand for yourself and say, I don't tolerate this anymore in this relationship. Like I used to tolerate like Danielle like talking shit to me. I don't do it anymore. So if she starts to go down that path, I'm like, I don't do this. I'm not doing this with you. If you want to talk like this to me, you go find somebody else. But you're not going to talk like this to me anymore. So I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you, I don't tolerate this. This is beneath my standard. It used to be my standard was lower, so I would tolerate it. But I couldn't do it if I hadn't taken care of my side of the street. If I hadn't cleaned my life up and got myself in integrity with me to own what my truth was. So if a guy can't own his truth.
That's the key right there.
Yes.
That is the key, though, too. And really, once you do that, I think you start to become a little bit more valuable to yourself. And you have self-worth. And once your self-worth goes up, your net worth goes up, your relationships get better, everything becomes better.
100%.
Even if you end up divorced.
Even if you end up divorced. And that's a weird thought to put in, right? So when guys are challenged with this, I'll be like, listen, here's what I want you to create. First, we have to create a reality check of where you are right now in your marriage. What does that look like now? Like, what are the things that are working, not working? No bullshit. Put it on the table. Let's go. Cool. Now we're going to let go of your wife for a moment. I don't want you to talk about your wife over here. I want my wife to, no. Don't fucking talk about your wife. I want you to talk about what you want. What do you want in communication? If you had the marriage that you wanted, what would that sound like?
What if it's physical?
It always goes to physical. So what do you want communication-wise? What do you want sexually? Dude, I will line up 100 dudes and ask married guys who've been married for 10 years or more, what do you want sexually? It's hard for dudes to even tell the truth. Because they've been canned in a box for so long of just tolerating shit and acting a certain kind of way themselves. They don't know how to even be honest with themselves. I'm like, what do you mean?
But what if they can't?
Can't get it?
No, like for example, let's say, you know, your wife's nose is huge.
Yeah.
I suppose you could get a nose job. You know, let's say like there's some physical trait.
Yes.
You're now like, I don't like that about her.
Yeah. Well,
what do you do?
You get the guy to be honest. I have guys with women who are overweight, like 50, 75 pounds overweight. And when they married them, these women are very fit. And these women have been overweight for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I will sit with them, Frank, Kate, what's the current situation? And I'll ask them, I was like, are you attracted to her? And the pause comes every time. I already know the answer.
No.
Why? Because you're fit as fuck. How could you possibly be physically attracted? You can't. And she doesn't feel attracted, which means she's shutting herself down. It's like, okay, cool. So you're in an environment right now where you have a woman, you have to sexually release, but you're in a monogamous relationship. You're not going to cheat on her. You're not going to be open in a relationship. You're not going to have a side chick. And you have the one girl, the one vagina you signed up with, you're not even attracted to. Can we see why we're going to porn all the time? Yeah? Okay, cool. So let's stop this for a second. Let's come over here. What do you want? The brain has been so trained to I have to transform this woman to be this thing. No. What do you want? Then you get to invite her into that future. Hey, this is the marriage I'm going to be in.
Would you like to join?
Exactly. Do you want to come?
Seems like it's more sense.
Do you want to be part of this? Because I'm going to go here and you're my first pick. I want you over there with me. But if you don't want to go over there with me, that's okay.
Yeah, but man, that takes commitment though.
Oh, it does. And then it's the reason why events like Man of the Arena make sense, because most guys can't get committed to themselves. They can't get committed to what they want because they can't get committed to the truth about where they are. In an environment like this, you have a chance to be able to actually feel that power, because it is power. And it's like you said, it's a value in yourself. Most guys have tolerated such bullshit from their kids to much bullshit from their wives, so much because they tolerate so much bullshit in themselves. The minute I stop tolerating something in us, immediately afterwards, anyone else who's beneath that standard immediately gets looked at and judged from a different place.
Yeah, but do you ever see guys that are like, you get them fired up to do this, and then they buckle as soon as they see her do it back?
Oh, yeah.
In other words, like, oh, yeah, motherfucker? Well, I didn't want you anyway. And so now they're out, and they're like, good. I'm glad you started this wake-up warrior bullshit, because I've been wanting to tell you. And now all of a sudden they're like, whoa, she don't want me. Because sometimes when I was younger, I mean, I've been married a long time now, so I don't know if it'd be the same. It might be the same now, but like I'd walk around like, you know, hey, if you don't get over here, you know, and you're done. And as soon as she was okay with being done, oh, I changed my mind. I don't want to be, I don't want her to be done.
Yeah.
Like I thought you were going to cry and be heartbroken.
Yeah.
You're okay with losing me? And as soon as she was okay with it, dude, I'd be after her again.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what's that about? What's that psyche?
Well, dude, that's called being not committed. Meaning, if you say something out of a threat, it's one thing to threaten. It's another thing to say I'm committed to going here. And I did the threat thing. I did the pouty thing. I did all the things. Anything that could be done as a fuckery with being with my wife, I've done it. I've tried it. I thought sex toys would change our life. I got some wild fucking sex toy stories, and none of it worked. What was the thing that worked? Me getting grounded, committed in myself. What really shifted it was I was having a moment in psychedelics. Like I use ketamine. Not so much anymore, but I had a season where it was very useful for me. Every Sunday I'd do a 2-hour ketamine journey with myself in the house. And I could separate my thoughts and my feelings, and I could put them over here, and then I could observe myself. And I could put situations in play and see how I would feel in that situation. Even to the point like I visualized, I didn't want to go there, but I figured in ketamine, I'm going to try it. I visualized my wife being fucked by some other guy. And I was like, what am I feeling? I'm feeling all kinds of feelings. But I had an experience in that ketamine journey that was different than I thought, which is my wife was having pleasure. The guys here was like, what the fuck? I was like, of course she would be. Why wouldn't she be? If I fucking died today, some other dude's going to be with my wife. She's young. That's it. And she'll have sex. She'll have orgasms. She'll be pleased. I'm not the only dude that can please my wife. I never looked at it from that frame. I always looked at it from, well, oh yeah, I could definitely please another woman, but not once did I let the thought come in on that side that my wife could actually experience pleasure from another man. It was like very ego for me. Like fucking pissed. Still triggers shit out of me. Just thought of it.
Triggers me too. How do we fix that?
Well, I don't even think it has to be fixed so much as there's an opportunity to see into it. And here was where the big revelation came for me that time, though. I grounded so much of my energy and certainty in my wife. So I didn't ground it in business partners, strategic partners, my clients. I'd learned how to not do that. But there was still me grounding in me and God. And then I still put a ton of it in her. So if she responded some kind of way to me, it would shake my certainty in myself. If she said something, it would shake my certainty. So on that day, when I tried that on, I also tried on a bunch of other things. And I was back in our tool called stacking, and I was working through it. I was having this conversation with God and myself. I was talking through it, and the principle that I got for myself was stop grounding in her. Stop.
So the reason you feel that way, or people do, because I'm one of them, and I'm sure there's a million dudes that identify with that one. It's because you're putting too much grounding in her.
Her reaction.
You're putting too much value in her, really.
You're taking your value, and you're extending your value to another person. And when they move, you move.
Yeah, but there's dudes out there, that would say, hey, I wouldn't be as mad if my girl cheated as long as she cheated with someone with a littler dick, no game, and she was regretting it, than someone that had a frickin' Voss bottle and did it just perfectly.
Yeah.
And they had some, connection.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, guys say that.
To me,
for sure.
I don't give a fuck which one it was.
Yeah.
I got the same anger feeling.
I get it.
And dude, so that means I'm doing it.
Well, there's a difference. You could be triggered by people, triggered by a situation. We can put scenarios up all day long. I could put up somebody's doing something sexually assaulting my daughter. I know where that puts me. Very quick murder, death, kill mode. With my marriage and my life, though, it's become more of a game of how do I become immovable with me? Because what's created trust from my wife and made her more feminine, more connected, more soft, more trusting, more all-in sexually, more all-in on conversation, trusting my leadership. I'm not cross-checking. I've never been a guy who checks my wife. I can spend money. I'm like, I'm going to go do this. All of the trust came back because I became immovable. So like last night, for example, we're about to come here. We're about to come out to Vegas. It's the middle of the night. I have a snoring thing. I get bigger. I start snoring. We got a new snore guard I was testing out, but I decided to sleep in the guest room because she wanted a good night's sleep. I was like, that's fine. I don't give a shit. So I go downstairs, and a war zone breaks out with my teenagers at 1 a.m. They're screaming and fighting with each other, and they get physical with each other. They're both tall, 5'8", 5'9", both very physical girls, and they're fighting and screaming. My wife comes down the hall. She's trying to break it up. The 5-year-old wakes up. She's like the defender of the universe, so she just switches teams. Whoever she thinks is being done unjustly, she will attack the other person. And she'll flip her card real quick in the middle of a fight if she thinks the tides have turned. Okay, and then she'll start punching over here. So this war is happening upstairs. I'm downstairs with my meditation music on, just having a peaceful sleep. My wife comes down, opens the door up. You need to get up here and handle this. I'm like, what's going on? She's freaking out, screaming. She's crying. I go upstairs. The teenagers are fucking screaming and crying. Doors are being slammed. The 5-year-old's laying in the corner crying. And I'm like walking in going, the fuck is going on up here in this war zone? Calm. Wife's trying to attack the teenager. Teenager's trying to attack my wife. They're both way bigger than my wife. So it's like a physical disadvantage for her. So I'm like pushing one daughter into her room. I'm pushing the other daughter into her room. I'm redirecting my wife back down the hallway. I pick the 5-year-old up. I go put her back in bed. I tickle her back. I put her to sleep. I make sure everybody's tucked in, and then I go back to bed. I couldn't do this shit years ago. I would have got whipped up into the fight too. And then try to figure out who to defend and defend your mother. And I was like, I don't know who. You're all fucking crazy. All of you. I love you, but you're women. You're all fucking crazy. Which means at some level, I have to be able to hold a semblance of order and immovability in that situation, which I couldn't do before. Couldn't do it.
But that's the process.
That's the process.
So if someone goes through the process, they'll be able to do this too.
Yes.
So, you know, that's not, that to me, that's what everybody should be interested in.
Well, that immovability is what allows you and me in business to make moves that we make. Something happens, somebody fucks you, somebody does something stupid, a partner deal goes sideways, some client says stupid shit, people are talking their mouths on social media. You're not moved by it. You're just like, whatever. Next. Most top producers I've been around, like, they don't celebrate too much big wins. They don't commiserate with the big losses. They're just kind of moving. But a relationship, that's a lot harder. It's a lot harder because it's very personal with a wife, very personal with kids. But getting the same principles to transfer from business into relationship, and vice versa, things that are working in relationship, being able to transfer those back into business. There's tons of stuff I do in business now because of what I've learned in marriage. Just ways of being that transfer over. Delegation and leadership, like all of these things back and forth. So like we've really focused like for 13 years on trying to find a container and then the weapons and tools inside the container to give men the opportunity to try to pursue this way of living. Is it for everybody? Hell no, it's not for everybody. Most people would rather just suffer.
So are you done doing Warrior, or is it all Man in the Arena now? Or
Man in the Arena is just a partnership deal we've done with Dan, and that it's a part I'm leading. So I'm a face of it, leading it. Wake Up Warrior is still doing Wake Up Warrior. We're crushing. We're blowing up too. A new book just came out, Warrior Book 2.0. It's crushing right now. Like everything we're doing with Warrior stayed the same. We have 200 trainers that use our system now and have built coaching brands and businesses. Like you with Lightspeed VT, we're coming backside on coaching businesses with our platform, supporting coaches, giving them the tools and weapons of the Warriors Way system to be able to guide and lead. There's a lot of people that want to help right now, but they don't have content, they don't have curriculum, they don't have tools, they don't have anything. They're trying to start from basics with a logo, and I'm going to be a coach. And you're like, well, that doesn't work. Side note with coaches, I love that there's so many people want to coach and help. Unless you have experience with money and you have experience with entrepreneurialism, it's very difficult to be successful as a coach. Because the money game and the lack of entrepreneurial skills, people treat it like it's some fucking backpack hobby. So like laptop lifestyle coaching business. It doesn't work. The top coaches all have the same thing. They have experience in money, they have experience in business, and they choose to go help other people. And when you add those three together, those people win. The biggest players all have that with them. They know money, good money consciousness, good entrepreneurial skills, marketing, sales, leadership, fulfillment, and they want to help other people. Those guys blow up fast. Everybody else is just lost in the cesspool of coaching nonsense.
Well, to me, you have to have done something yourself first. Because, like, again, to me, a good coach is someone who is somewhere, and they used to be somewhere else, and they're going to help those people not be there.
Yep.
And get here. Like, in other words, hey, I used to be just like you, and now I'm me. So if you want to be like me, whatever that is, I can coach you to get to me. Why? Because I've done it.
Yep.
But these coaches that haven't really done anything,
it's a lot of
they just want to coach.
Yep.
Like I know coaches, dude. It's crazy to me because they're really, I'd like to say delusional.
Yeah.
In thinking that they're building a coaching program. And dude, they don't have any money.
Yep.
They don't have anything figured out.
Nope.
Like they're fucking lost.
Yep.
And they're trying to get unlost by coaching. Because that's the thing to do. And it's like, guys, you have to be a good coach, in my opinion, this is my opinion, you have to have been somewhere and now you're not, and you know what you did and how you got out, and now go help the people you used to be. So who did you used to be? I used to be that guy. Okay, well then if you're still that guy, like, I used to be broke. You're still broke, motherfucker. Like, if all your shit worked, why don't you coach yourself?
Yeah. Well, dude, if you look at the funniest when you have like marketing consultants who will sit in a room with me and they'll go, okay, so what's the challenge? Man, I'm just really struggling with leads. I say, okay, hold up. So you're a marketing consultant that's struggling with leads. That's like a trainer that's fat trying to figure out how to get fit, but you want to coach people to be fit. How are you going to pull this off? It's not going to work.
Well, that's not a very good analogy, and I'll tell you why.
Go.
Because there's fat people that know how to get in shape. They just don't.
Yeah. But name me a top fat trainer who has a big movement happening.
A big
fitness. A fat trainer who has a big movement in fitness happening.
Well, they don't.
They can guide people. It doesn't mean they don't have the knowledge. It just means like if you're going to follow the same standards, like you're going to follow somebody who has the result that you want.
Yeah, but marketing, like you got to know what to do.
Yes.
And if you knew what to do, you wouldn't have a lead problem.
Exactly. In fitness, same thing. You may not know there's knowing what to do and then there's doing it.
There's the difference.
A lot of guys know what to do in their marriage. They just don't do it. A lot of guys know what to do to transform their body. They just don't do it. A lot of guys know what to do to be more connected to God, but they don't do it.
Why do you think that is, that they can't get that freaking commitment, that grit, that freaking gumption to go?
Surrounded by women and surrounded by men who won't go. And when you're surrounded by women and surrounded by men who will not go, you will perpetually become weaker. If you're surrounded by men,
that's what it is. They're just not surrounded with the right people.
Yeah, dude, you would never just sit and just let everything go bankrupt. You would never just sit and let things fall apart. You go. This is why we can run. Like I go, you go. If I wasn't a guy who went, I wouldn't even be here on the show. When you're around dudes who go and who think big and who dream big and who push big and who are willing to fucking hurt and create fast and go. If you're around that, you only face two choices. Either I'm going to become a guy that fucking goes, or I'm going to be a guy that goes away. There's no choice in the middle. I'm not going to keep hanging out. Like, you don't spend time with dudes who don't produce. I don't spend time with guys who don't produce, who sit around like victims whining about shit all day long. I don't have any time for this. None. Zero. None. I'm like, goodbye. I appreciate you. Go find somewhere else to hang out. I have no time to hang out with you.
Well, you would invite them to the group.
Well, those people need to learn how to go. But if I'm sitting in a place where I'm with somebody in my own personal circles, like in my own personal circle, I'm surrounded by people who fucking move fast. If you're on my team, you don't move, you're out. Our programs are filled with guys who are trying to figure out how to get in an environment with guys who go.
Yeah.
So you have to get in environments. Well, like fast way to into anything is buy your way in. Yeah, you want to get close to people who go so that you can learn how to go faster with them.
Yeah, and then build one.
Yes.
You know, build a group of people.
Yes.
Because like they leave that arena, now they're back home by themselves, surrounded by girls and people that won't go.
Yep.
So you got to go to the thing and then figure out how to stay plugged into the thing.
Yes. Well, we'll watch it happen. They come, they have the explosive moment, and then the panic hits because the pull of the past is so strong. This is why there's always opportunity to move into brotherhood and tribes with us, because once you have the moment, with the moment of awakening, when you wake up to, holy fuck, what am I doing? Like, why am I tolerating this in myself? Why? Why am I doing this? Why have I allowed this to be the situation? I am fucking better than this. What am I doing wrong? Like, we do this on our events all the time. Make all the dudes take their shirts off. Take all your fucking shirts off. We got Warrior Fit over here. He would just take his shirt off. Take my shirt off. Like, hey, everybody's fucking topless right now. Look around at yourselves. What do you see? How do you feel about what you see?
What do you normally see when, like, at some level after a while, you see a bunch of buff motherfuckers?
When you're around guys who go and that's the standard, this happens.
Right, because
like,
I mean,
it just happens.
In the very beginning, like, I just heard about this thing. I'm going to go. And you get everybody taking their shirts off, you're going to see a lot of man titties.
A lot of man titties.
And a lot of just out of shape bastards.
Out of shape bastards over 40, for sure. And again, with the covered up suit, like the insurance conference, and the jacket and the tucked in shirt, you don't notice because everybody around you is kind of that same way. Then you get put in a different environment, like Man in the Arena. You put yourself in a place where you can experience a new level of yourself by being mirrored back to you a new standard. Like, here is the standard. Like, I'd run with Coach Carter and myself and a bunch of dudes who are jacked, and we don't sit around and fucking talk about food. The people that sit around and talk about food all the time, people who are fat. All my family is obese. Most of them. They talk about food all the fucking time.
You remember?
All the fucking time.
You remember that tuna pizza?
Yeah.
At Yellowtail?
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, because I intermittent fast, I ain't even eaten today yet.
You hadn't eaten for
I'm
like
as soon
18
as you
hours.
said that, I'm thinking, fuck, dude, that tuna pizza sounds good.
It's not that you don't think about food, it's you're not talking about it. Guys who are getting laid, unless your game is about leading guys to figure out how to get laid, you're not sitting around talking because you're in abundance with it. It's like part of what you are. It's not a conversation, is just what you are. Like, I'm constantly harping on topics of making more money. Like, you came up in our room in one of our events. One of our guys was like, what do I do about this? My wife's spending money. And one of the other guys was like, well, I know what Brad Lee would tell him. I was like, well, give it to us. What would he say? Make more money. I was like, yeah, that's a fucking good answer. Why don't you just make more money instead of breaking her down every month about how much she spends at Target? How much she spending at Target? $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. She's spending $10,000. Fucking incredible. Good on her. What is it? Okay, make more fucking money and stop putting constraints on her. The whole room was like, what? So yeah, you were influenced on a room, you didn't even know it. You were a conversation starter. Somebody listened to you rip on one of the podcasts and were like, well, Brad says to this. And I was like, I agree with Brad.
Yeah, and I agree with it. But what the key is I said, if you're with a good woman and she's outspending you, then you need to make more money. And people miss what I said because it's not any woman.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Because a good one, dude, wouldn't outspend you, first of all. Yeah. So if she was, it means that you're just not making enough.
Yeah.
Get your ass up and figure out how to fucking produce more so your good woman is not outspending your income. You jack off, go look in the fucking mirror. Be a man. Oh, that's not fair. Yes, it is fucking fair, bitch. Get into a position to receive commission. That's step one.
Yes.
So I got my own shit once you get me fired up. But I don't consider myself like worthy of speaking or going to a all men's group. Why? Because, dude, I think I'm still figuring shit out.
Bro, everybody's still figuring shit out.
I'm gonna wait until I figured something out first.
Dude,
I ain't really figured shit out yet. I'm still fucking wondering where to get these fucking leads consistently. and why do I tolerate stupid shit?
Well, this toleration, it shifts.
I'm just now starting to get in shape.
I like it. I like it.
I'm still fucking
shitty. Yeah, listen, you have your commitment cycle. It goes up, it goes down. And in the end, you're happy with what it is. So it's not about,
because you know what? I'm pretty fucking good.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, there's a certain standard that for everybody, but the standard is personally set. So I can be around dudes who are doing things and going. But in the end, it's all personal. It's you and your wife, you and your children, you and your life. You go to bed in your house. You have your business. It's your financials. It's your life. If you're fucking cool with it, it's like, cool, I'm good with it. I want more, but I'm fucking proud of myself for what I've done. So it's not just about like, oh, I have to always fucking be going based upon what everybody else is doing. It's the energy of people who are going. It's all different levels. I went to Miami, dude. Holy shit. It's like, I wonder one dude I just met was happened to be rolling by in his 130-foot three-stacked yacht, $35 million. He just parked right in front of my house and backed up. I'd rented a little pontoon boat to take the kids to the sand dune or the sandbar. And he pulls this bitch in right in front of my house and Garrett! His name was Josh Kirk. He's like, what the fuck, dude? Let's go. And I was like, I mean, that's another level. He's talking about buying $15, $20 million yachts every other weekend. I'm not at that level.
How do you make his dough?
All real estate. So, but his game, I'm not looking at him of like, I need to have that. So much I like hanging out with him because he fucking goes. And he got motherfucked about 2 years ago for like $32 million and then turned it around. And like I said, fuck those guys and fixed it and repaired himself and got going. That energy of being around guys who do this, not about how much it is or how much sex I'm having or how much money I'm having. It's, are you going? Are you growing? Are you getting more? Because the high isn't in arriving. That's why you'll never get there with the software unless you sell it. Then even then you'll be left going, okay, well shit, I just worked 25 years on Lightspeed. Now my bank accounts are full. The fuck am I going to do now?
Oh, I won't go there. I'll dump that bitch, get my bank accounts full, and then be like, finally, now I'm going to show y'all motherfuckers what's up. See, I, for some reason, I think put my value in that I'm not there yet. You see?
Yeah.
That's my own little weakness.
Where's there?
Like, I don't really need it. I suppose.
Where's there? Where's there yet? Like,
where I can finally say, fuck y'all.
You already say fuck y'all.
No. No, like if the dude rolls up, like you know, if you had a G7, you know, jet, and you're cruising around the fucking country whenever you want, like, dude, that's cool. Like, I ain't that cool.
Yeah, but dude, is levels, and you know how many
I know, but I need to get to that level.
Got it.
Then I can say, what's happening?
Well, half the guys I know that did that in Miami sold them all. I had dudes over there saying, you should get a yacht. I had dudes over there that have had yachts for 10 years, like, don't get a fucking yacht, dude. It's a pain in the ass. You won't want a fucking yacht. Just get a nice boat you can drive in front. All level, because no matter what peak we get to, after a period of time, it will become normal. Yeah. And that normal will become numb. And in that numbness, what was a paradise will become a prison.
That's right.
Finally fucking got a dropping bomb. Finally.
That is correct. That is correct, though, too, because even with me, like, at my level, you know, and by the way, my level's way beyond most people's levels.
Way beyond.
But at the end of the day, I'm hanging around people that are way above me. And so it's like, to me, it's like my Rolls Royce Ghost.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was cool, but now I'm like, do I really want this fucking thing? And now I got another Ferrari coming. And it's like, I'm not really sure. I still have one. I don't even want that one. I mean, yeah, they're fun to drive once in a while, but they're taking up room. Like, I don't want this shit anymore. You know what I want?
What?
I want my fucking truck.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Like, I don't need all this shit anymore. I never thought I'd say that, but now I'm getting to that. So what you just said is exactly true. So then why even go the whole way? Like, why even worry about the jet? Like, I want to at least, I think a jet would just be,
I think the jet, just consider this. So in our world, we call this impossible game mapping. No matter who we are, our high is not ever in arriving. It is in the pursuit of. And it took me a long time to figure out, was I pursuing a thing? Like, why am I ruthlessly committed? My urinal, with starting back to our original conversation, making it past the kitchen, not pissing in the sink, don't piss on the floor, don't piss in the fridge, don't piss in the ice maker, let's go to the toilet, is multiple billionaire. Period. And people are like, why? What does it matter? I was like, well, here's what not a lot. I live a fucking ridiculously great life now. I have help everywhere. We travel the best. We go everywhere. It's great. I sometimes private, sometimes commercial. Doesn't matter. Like, I have a great life. Fucking amazing. Beyond anything I could have imagined growing up. Period. And what I am interested in finding out is, who is Garrett J. White, the multi-billionaire? Like, how does this guy think? How does he operate in the world? Like, I'm getting more and more calm over the years. I'm still fired up, but I'm way more calm than I was like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I just fucking yelled all the time. Now I'm kind of in this place that's just different. I'm like, if that's happening when I'm almost 50, if I'm a multi-billionaire at 60, what is that guy thinking? How does he treat his wife? How does he treat his kids, his grandchildren? What is different about him? Because this guy's going to operate a certain way. But that guy would be mentoring this guy. I would be getting mentored by a version of me. And this version of me existed 10 years ago. But I had to go uncover him. So I'm more interested in what I am and who I am as power expands. What am I willing to do? What am I willing to let go of? What things do I care about now that I'm not going to give a fuck about at that point? What things do I currently do that I would never do again? What things do I tolerate right now that would be completely unacceptable for that guy?
What if you like try to think of those things, Garrett? And the answer is, I wouldn't even be with my wife.
Could be.
Like, if I had $10 billion, I think to myself, why would I even want a wife?
These are great questions.
And by the way, my wife better be freaking perfect. Because with $10 billion, dude, then you start like going down those paths and you're like, dang, well then why would you need to be a billionaire to do that? And then pretty soon you're like, dang, dude, do I even want to be married? And you get people questioning.
Yes, which is good. It's healthy.
I know, but that's what people might be afraid of, because they won't commit. You know what I mean?
Well, this is one of the reasons why we created the tools we did. So we have a tool called stacking. It's one of the tools we'll talk about with Man Arena. It's the ability for me to have these conversations in an environment that is safe for me to be honest about my thought process. Because our thought process can go to scary places. Our thought process can go to inspiring places. We can be inspired by how terrified we are. Just the problem of it. Anytime I'm unboxing what my frame of reality is about my marriage, about my kids, about my business, about my life, like what the fuck do I really want now? It takes a lot of courage to actually challenge what you have obtained and what you've built. Say, okay, well, what if this is not it? What if the only reason I built Life's BVT was to exit so that I could do the thing that God's actually called me to do? What if the thing I'm actually supposed to do is over here? It's not this. And what if this was just a preparation to get me to this place so that I could go do this thing?
Which it may have been.
Could completely be. So when I start giving myself permission to think that way and open up the container, like if you go into the Bible in the Old Testament, Abraham, this was exactly what God challenged him on. Abraham asked for this big thing, and then God comes in and gives him 3 requirements before all of it starts. Listen, first thing you have to do is leave your country. You're going to have to, second, leave your family. Third, you're going to have to leave your father's house. Translated in my world, this is what this means. Leave my country. I have to leave the world I built for myself. If I want to go to this new place, I can't stay here. I can't keep thinking the same way about this world I've built, no matter how good it is. To go to a new place, what got me here cannot take me there. Some of it I can take with me, but most of it I cannot. Second, leave your family. The box I put my wife in. It was my stories about my wife that kept her contained. Like I said for 12 years, because of feeling sexually rejected, my wife doesn't even want sex. She doesn't even care about sex. My wife's not even a sexual woman. I told her this so many times, she started taking that identity on. So we're sitting in therapy in 2016-17, which is critical years for us. She's on one end of the couch, I'm on the other end of the couch. We're talking to the therapist, and out of nowhere on the right side here, this little 105-pound woman screams at the therapist, I want to fuck. I want to be fucked good. I just don't want to do it with him. And I was like... Well, that's shattering my story. Pretty good. I was like, oh shit, you do want to fuck. You just don't want to fuck this guy. Okay. Well, at least we're getting to some truth. There is a sexual savage in there. There's a slut ready to unleash and be a stripper. I just don't have the access codes because the way I'm showing up.
Are you sure it's the way you're showing up? Maybe it's the way you look.
It could have been both. It could have been both. Dude, about 5 years ago.
But what if it's the way you look or something you can't affect? Like,
could absolutely be.
What if she likes tall dudes and you're short?
It could absolutely be. But again, come back to the same thing. If I'm stuck in a situation where she doesn't want me, if I have certainty in myself and ground myself in that truth, and I get clear about the thing I want, and I can't get clear about the thing I want until I'm clear about where I'm at. Because I can't own this shit, there's no possible way I'm going to be committed to go there. Because any vision I create for myself will just be a fantasy. But it is scary. Like, what if she doesn't want to be with you? What if it was all a ruse and she actually chose you because you were the safe bet?
Yeah, or she just fucked up.
Got pregnant.
She settled.
Settled for you.
She rationalized her dreams and settled for your fat ass.
This is when guys introduce their wives to me and they'll be like, oh, here's my better half. I'm like, you can stop that shit right now. Stop. Because that means that your wife married down. If you married up, she married down. And I look at her, I'm like, I'm sorry that you chose down. Like, what the fuck are you saying, bro? You're like literally putting yourself in the hole, saying, yeah, I got real lucky. I'm just a good marketer. I got this girl, and she chose down and chose me. You know, an interesting thing, we were looking through some studies. Very rarely do you see 2 10s together. Like super hot, like male model style dude with like a super hot female model. Hardly ever together, because both of these individuals as 10s have been pursued by 6, 7s, and 8s their whole lives. So they almost end up with it. I see it in the speaking world too. It's interesting. I'll see somebody's like, a guy's super powerful, good looking. You meet his wife and you're like, 7. Not bad. You meet like super hot girl and she's like with like a 7. You're like, not bad. But how'd this happen? Because like the attraction factor isn't there. It's different. They've been pursued their whole life. They don't actually know how to pursue.
Well, not only that, but there's some people with taste, like somebody doesn't like blondes, let's say. Maybe you don't like brunettes, so someone might think she's a 7, but someone you think she's a 10. I've seen that before.
100%.
I have a buddy of mine that just freaking is in love with his girl, and I think his girl's kind of ugly. And I always think to myself, like, dude, why don't you get a freaking hot chick? And he's like, oh, my girl, she's so hot. And I'm like, ugly, dude. I mean, borderline ugly. But he thinks she's hot, dude. And I almost envy that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I want to be in that relationship where, like, if someone said, Brad, just be truthful. What do you want out of your marriage? Dude, I just want mine to, like me more. And if you ask her, she says she loves me. But, like, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
I don't feel it.
Well, listen.
And she always says every day, why do you keep saying that? And it's like, dude, I don't know. I feel like I think if a girl loved you, she would be like googly eyed and, adore you and, obsessed with you and like you were in the beginning.
Yeah. It's called worshiping.
Yeah. I want one to worship me.
Yeah.
Then I'll feel like she loves me.
Every guy has a desire.
Right now,
I have this desire with my wife too.
And can you fix that?
Sometimes she goes there and most of the time she doesn't. I think the kids game plays a real hard factor. Young children fuck the game up, bro.
Yeah,
they make it very difficult.
And I try to be, I don't want to say, I try to be open-minded and be like tolerant. That's the word. I try to be like, okay, because otherwise, what am I going to do? Divorce her?
Yeah.
What a dick. That'd be a dick move. I'd divorce her because, she's not worshiping me.
How would you know she was worshiping you? Like if
I could feel it.
Okay, so
I would know it.
Yeah, so
I'd look over and she'd be staring at me with googly eyes.
And that feeling, every guy's after. There's not one guy that doesn't want that. Every guy wants it.
Yeah, so should I just blow her out?
This is an approachable conversation of saying, okay, it's just like Danielle approached me 2 years ago. But knowing what that feeling is like, have you felt it with her before? Prior to the kids. I'm telling you, kids are a circus.
I don't know. Because again, when we first met, I wasn't going to get married ever again. I already told myself, shit, dude, I'm straight up single forever. I was 40.
Yeah.
Well, here comes this 21-year-old, black fingernail polish, cool, laid back, tight little body. I'll hang with her for a minute. That's all I thought. But she was just so cool and laid back, and we never argued, and she was like a friend. And that went on for 3 or 4 years, and she wanted to get married and have kids, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I already divorced once, so who cares? Like I've already, what's the worst that can happen? And so I did. We got married, but I don't think we've ever been like this madly in love couple.
Do you have polarity with her?
What you mean by polarity?
Like tension.
No.
Do you want tension?
No.
You do.
I do.
Because guess where the worshiping feeling comes from? Tension and polarity. If there's no tension, then there can't be any attraction. That's the wildest part about it. That's why, like, if you look back even relationships you've had in the past where you had the most fighting, you like had the best sex too. Like typically that goes hand in hand, which is collision that leads to fucking, like up down. So when you release tension, attraction fades, and attraction is us feeling wanted. If we can feel, but that requires tension. But if we avoid the tension, which most guys do, they avoid collision over things they want, or they avoid collision over what is, and so they don't realize that in avoiding collision, or quote people pleasing, which is really collision avoidance, they're killing attraction. This is what, dude, it was fucking weird. I got this way with Danielle like 3 years ago. I realized if my wife's not slightly irritated at me half the week, our sex is garbage. And by irritated, I mean like, I'm going to do me. I'm going here. I don't agree with that. No. Yes. Drew boundaries. And I was tracking this shit, watching it happen. The more I played my lane and created tension with her, she's like, well, I don't agree with this. That's fine. You don't have to agree with this. Or she's like, well, listen to what I think. I'm like, okay, she would tell me. And then she's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm not going to do that. But I heard you, but I'm not going to do that. Why aren't you listening to me? I did listen to you, but that does because listening does not mean agreeance. I'm not agreeing with you because you say it. I'm just saying I'm listening to you. You can tell me, no, I'm still going to do this. But I appreciate you sharing with me. it created this interesting tension, which accelerated attraction. The minute Danielle and I are not fighting, meaning having disagreements about things, our attraction goes down. Because the tension goes down. Tension and attraction go down. It's kind of like, we don't do the vaginal masturbation thing anymore, which is what it used to be for a while, which was like, I kind of just felt like I was with a fucking sex doll. Because she wasn't even participating. I'm like, this is fucking nonsense. So then I didn't tolerate that anymore. I was like, so she at least knows now. She'll turn it on and like do the noises and talk in my ear and bite my ear and scratch my back, and because she knows I want it. And then we'll get down and I'll be like, any of that real? She's like, no, but I love you. I'm like, I don't give a shit if it was real or fake. That was good. Well done.
Yeah, but I want it real.
I get it real too. But it's not going to be real most of the time for a woman who's juggling little kids. Like when you have the little babies, that's why all my single buddies are like, this girl, and why don't you? I had a counsel come from one dude, single, never been married. He's like, you know what you need to do? I was like, what? When she comes out of the bathroom, you just walk up to her and say, bend over, I'm fucking you right now. I said, I hear where you're coming with that strategy. Yeah, that's going to backfire with my wife real quick.
Or they're like, hurry up.
Yeah.
See, the hurry up thing, dude, my wife did that one time, and I told her,
yeah,
don't ever do that.
And that's the boundary. So it's like, hey, this is not okay. This is okay.
Yeah, there's no hurry up.
No.
Like, dude, my shit'll go in about 2 seconds, and I'll literally start to feel disgust
dirty
for her.
Yeah. Immediately.
Where I won't like her.
Yes.
And I warned her, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me just instantly think you're gross and I want you out of here.
Danielle had a different one. Hers was in the middle of going. If we were like now, like 5-6 minutes, she used to do this in the past, and I put July, I was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. She'd like lean up and go, I don't think you can go. Like it would be like in it and then pull out of it. And she's like, I don't think you can go. I was like, okay, so you've never said anything less inspiring in your entire life to me. Here I am in the action with you. We're going. And then you're telling me you don't think, this isn't a challenge. Like I don't take it on as a challenge when she says like, oh yeah, well let me show you. I'm like, too long for you. I got it. You know, a whole 10 minutes. But again, these are all boundaries too, just like you. I was like, just drew boundaries. Most guys cannot do this. They cannot draw boundaries in the marriages. They can't draw boundaries in their business. They can't draw boundaries with themselves. They don't have any integrity with themselves. And so they struggle. I have no integrity. I have no boundaries. I have no polarity. You should have polarity with the world. Polarity with the world is what brings attraction. The reason people love your show is because you create polarity and tension every fucking episode. Being around you as a man, you create tension everywhere. Things you say, how you say them, the comments you make, the jokes you make, the sidelines, the catches, all of it. It creates tension because nobody really knows where they're going to be at. It's like a girl out in the hall we were with. And like, how old are you? 31. I'm immediately hitting where's the fucking bullshit button. He wasn't thinking 31. But you just fuck with people, always. Because it creates tension, and it's more fun for you to live that way because there's tension. Even when we're at dinner, you're like the same way. I've like fucking have laughed that hard in my entire, like there's only one other person who made me laugh that hard at dinner was besides you, which was Keith Yackey. Like I was fucking pissing myself for like an hour straight. It just kept going, tension.
Isn't his last name perfect for a comedian?
It is. Yeah. Yackey.
Yackey.
It's a perfect last name for a
Keith
comedian.
Yackey. He should be a comedian.
Yeah, he should be a comedian. Now he just teaches people how to
What
sex.
happened? He didn't like that?
I think he realized that there's no money in comedy unless you're like a superstar, and he got real focused on what his purpose is. But she actually launched a marriage game, wrote his first book. His first book came out. He's coaching several hundred guys right now, and
It's a good looking book.
It looks real good. I don't know if Neil Strauss is
and you know, I've heard his spiel, and you know what? It makes sense. Like start showing up like this, start doing this, start doing that. And it's hard to do because you almost need to do it without expecting anything.
That's 100% the principle, which is real hard for married guys.
Which makes you, like, in my mind, kind of a bitch almost in a way. But he changes it with the whole other dial.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you got to, want to wash dishes and like help and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, dude, that's where I fucking draw the line.
I don't wash dishes.
Yeah,
I have people that help wash the dishes.
Look, I work, Okay, I pay bills. Okay, I'm not washing fucking dishes. Okay, I'm not gonna come home and help. Okay, I help by doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you want some other kind of help, hire the fucking help.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with that. If I go home and she's got a freaking handy person walking around fixing shit, cool.
Yeah.
I'm not fixing shit when I get home. But if that's what it takes to be loved, again, it's like, see, this is where I struggle.
I think it's less about being loved and get rid of the kitchen stuff, because I don't do that shit either. It's any behavior that I'm making across. So I used to do everything with an agenda. If I help clean the house, which we had cleaned, I was kind of looking over like a kid looking to their parent for attention. Did you see me do that? If I cleaned the house, if I helped with the kids, if I put them to bed, I was always having this thought for years of like, she saw this, she's definitely going to fuck because I did that. I just had an agenda. And then I realized I'm a parent. I have kids. That's part of what I do. I love my children. I want to spend time with my kids regardless we're fucking, because I love my children. I want to make sure my house is clean and ready to go. I want shit to not break around here. I'm going to do shit around here because this is my castle. Now, the conversation
but what
is
if
sex.
she's messing it up?
Well, then she's on it. I don't really care about the clean castle. I mean, I do, but I don't. Not as much as she does. She's way more obsessed with it. When I stripped away all of my sexual agenda and then just focused on seduction and then just being a man in my own house. Yeah, like I want my shit to be right in the house. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do these things, not because I'm trying to get laid. I'm doing these things because this is what a person in a partnership does. That's what I'm handle. There's some shit. There's dog shit. My dogs fucking hate the dogs. The dogs will shit in the house. I clean the shit up. There's a clogged toilet. My daughters won't touch it. My wife won't touch them. I fucking plunge the toilet. Why? Because I don't want to see shit sitting in my toilet.
But that doesn't bother you?
It doesn't bother me in the sense that I do it because I'm part of the family. For me, it works for me. But I used to attach all of that behavior to, now she's going to want to fuck me more. No, she's going to fuck me more with one thing. If she gets time and feels seen. If my wife gets time with me and she wants particular time, she wants time, not just scheduled date night. She wants to know that I chose her over the business.
So did you guys have long conversations and she was open enough to tell you?
Totally. We did it through therapy, through arguments, debates, conversation. We went far hard in the paint with the whole thing.
Because me and my girl, like if she heard this podcast, hopefully she doesn't listen to this one. She'll get a little bit, she's private. She doesn't like me talking about anything. But I mean, I don't know if she'd be open enough to tell me anything, because we got a pretty good relationship. I'm just, egging you on and using it for the conversation, because we got a pretty good relationship. But there's also some truth to what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, dude, she feels like, I know she loves me and all that, but like, I don't feel like she's in love with me.
Yeah.
Because we've been together so long, and I just rationalize, like, I don't feel like she's in love with me. Yeah. Like other girls would be. Yeah. If I allowed them to be. Yeah. And it's like, it almost feels like, but then I always again, I'm a nice guy. I think, well, I'm sure there'd be, dudes following her around if I were to allow that to happen. So at the end of the day, it's like, maybe I'll just calm down a little bit, appreciate what I have and quit being such a fucking demanding prick.
Well, you can be appreciative for what you have and still desire and want more.
But how do I get her to do it? Because ideally, if she was in love with me, and when I say in love, you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Like the new relationships.
Yep. She would have to speak her truth. And that means you would have to be able to receive it without reacting.
Yeah. I don't know, dog. I might need restraint.
Dude, that's a hard piece, because I was so
Dude, if my wife said to me what yours said to you, I don't know if she'd be my wife ever again.
I get it, dude.
Because I'd be like, well, what does that mean? Yeah. What do you mean, not me? Who do you want? Yeah. Describe him. I'd be pissed.
Well, there wasn't a particular face, because I did ask. I was like, is there someone else? Are you DMing someone else? Are you talking to someone else? She's like, no, I don't even see faces. I just see a guy who's powerful, who sees me for who I am.
Yeah, they want to be loved too.
Of course they do.
But we don't know how to love them because we're men.
Yeah, and that's the struggle, which is here's the thing. If I can't see me, I can't see you. So if I struggle in owning my truth with who I am, if I struggle in seeing the value in who I am as a man, it's impossible for me to see the value in my wife. It's impossible to see my value in brothers, in friends, in partners. I can't see it because I'm blocked in myself. I can only see what I can see in me.
Yeah, but like if you ever had you had a Lambo, do you still have it?
Yeah.
Okay, what if it was like got a little ding in the door. A couple places where it's just, you can see them. You can see the dings, and like the back wheel's kind of low and scuffed. Like, and you don't get another one, dude. That's it. Aren't you just a little bit bummed?
Yeah, you get it fixed.
How? Is the question.
Well, with the car, easy. With a relationship that's got a flat tire, with a marriage or a business.
Or a door ding. It's just, it's not quite perfect.
Yes. Well, then we look at it and we say, okay, well, I got this relationship with a door ding, and then you realize you were the one that hit it with the bat.
Yeah,
and you're the one that stuffed the knife in the tire, and you're like, fuck, I'm the guy who did this.
Yeah, well, that's the past. Quit living in the past. How do we fix this? The question.
This is, by the way, this is what Danielle does in arguments with me. She'll bring shit up from like 5 years ago, and like she'll say this and this and this, and she'll say it, and then the minute I do it, she'll say that. No, we're not talking about the past. We're talking about right now is that you just referenced the past for 10 minutes. Like, what are you talking about? By the way, I found out the best way to argue with my wife. Just agree. Like, just listen to her.
Well, I always say, hey, listen, to my wife, we get along because I make the big decisions. She gets to make the little decisions, and we ain't had a big decision yet.
It's okay. So you see the energy of this conversation. Like, this energy, guys need it. Like, this kind of energy of just talking, bullshitting, being around, and getting to truth, having fun. This itself is why events that we've done for 13 years work. It's why every Warrior Week we've run, every Warrior Conference we've run, every big money events we've run, anything we've done for our guys, half of the value or more is the fact that they're in a room with dudes where they can say, oh shit, I'm not the only one that thinks like this. No. Yeah. And that there's a way to be different, to think different, to create different, to have something different. Or we have to stop bitching about what we have.
One of the two.
That's it. Either you're good with what you got, or you're not. And if you're not, and you don't like the door dings, and you don't like the flat tires, and you keep pissing in the kitchen, and you're not making it to the urinal, and your wife's wondering why there's so much urine in your fucking kitchen sink, and it's because you're pissing in it, there's another path, which is find a new way. Find a new way.
And by the way, that's why your wife don't want to fuck you.
Yeah, pissing in the sink.
Well, because you're half-assed.
Yes.
You can't be half-assed, lukewarm, and expect your girl to frickin' freak out about you.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Dude, when I'm coming over here to do the show, my wife never used to do stuff like this. She's going to hang out with my daughters. They're doing their thing, hanging out with Carter's wife, Alyssa. And she looks at me. I come over by her. She grabs me by the face, kisses me on the lips, and says, crush the show with Brad. My wife never used to say shit like this. Ever. Now, I can't acknowledge it too much because then she stops doing it. So I'm just like, this immovable thing I'm talking about, though, has opened, that inside of every woman is a slut and a stripper. Every single one. There's a version of your wife and mine, high heels, stripper pole, doing the thing, doing the dance, sitting on your face, doing the lap dance, all of it. Wild as shit. How do we know? Because if it's not us, these women could go with another guy who would fucking unleash that in them.
That's right, and that's what pisses me off.
I know. I mean, I played this on my mind.
I've met that woman before a couple of times, a handful of times, so I know she's in there.
I know.
The question is, how come she ain't always in there?
Yeah.
And you're right, there's a dude out there. Ain't me for some reason. That's what pisses me off.
I get it.
Because I wish it was just, I'm the dude. Because there is a dude out there that'll bring that out in her.
Do you know the thing these guys
And what's funny is she probably doesn't even want the dude, except for once in a while. It's like, fuck you.
Here's the thing you think about it, though. What is it that guy, like, why does short-term affairs, why are they so spicy? Because every guy's had the thought, every girl's had the thought. Okay, why, though? In that environment, she's not looking for safety and security at all. She's only looking for one thing. People get divorced, they cheat for one reason. It's not because they're not feeling safe and secure, it's because they don't feel seen. Period. This is why you'll have very powerful dudes who make incredible amounts of money and their wife is fucking some other dude.
Like Brady.
Yes. And you're like, how the fuck are you going to be fucking around on Tom Brady? Giselle's not being seen. He's not around. She's not getting time. All of a sudden, jiu-jitsu instructor is looking good. Okay, I think I'm going to go this direction. If somebody's not feeling seen, they will desperately search to be seen. Guys want to be seen. Guys want to be seen by other men. Guys want to be seen by their woman. Guys want to be seen by other women. And the fun part is the more women that your wife sees seeing you, the more she will feel drawn to you. It's not a good thing if you're walking around and no woman's looking at you but your wife.
Yeah.
Because the minute she sees you, you're getting attention. That also says, oh, I got a high value man. Because there's other women that are looking at my guy. And there's other guys that are looking at my guy. Oh, that's my guy. But this whole game can be created. And it's not just about marriage. It just happens to be the thing that's the most painful for guys is trying to unlock this Rubik's Cube that's constantly fucking changing. Add kids to the mix, it's changing. Kids get older, it's changing. I'm dealing with both sides of it. Toddlers and teenagers. 2 teenage girls that are very powerful. One's 18, one's 13. These 2 girls have mouths, and they are intense, and they're on fire, and they argue, and they go after it. They fight over dresses and take their mom's clothes, and then Danielle loses her shit. And then I got toddlers and a 3-year-old whose favorite word is motherfucker. So it's like I'm kind of dealing the heat sauce of both of these and navigating and winning still. Is it always perfect? Hell no, it's not always perfect. How could it be? What even is perfect? What happens, though, is progression. Is it better now than it was last year? Yes. And that's a question you get asked. That's a question I get asked. A question every guy gets asked. Are you better this year than you were last year? Are you the same? Are you weaker? Is the marriage better? Is it not better? What does next year look like? What am I pursuing now? Now that we're out here, what's next? Like, I know I'm in a huge work frenzy right now, and my wife is not feeling seen. She's not really excited to be here at 10X Growth Con. She's excited, but not excited. Because she also knows the next 4 days are going to be just business rush.
Are you speaking there? Or are you just attending?
We brought 60 of our team members and clients here.
Well, you're just bought into that whole 10X deal.
Yeah, I like it. Brandon Dawson's great.
Brandon Dawson's a smart dude.
Yeah. I don't spend a ton of time with Grant. Most of my time is with Brandon.
Well, Brandon's a smart dude. Grant's a cool dude. But if you want to get to be real wealthy, just emulate his real estate place. Like, dude, he's been doing that since day one.
Yeah, he's fucking killing it.
And it's the main reason he's got what he's got. Yeah. I always claim, I did this for him and I did that for him. I mean, yeah, I showed him how to make $5, $6, $7 million a month, almost all profit. That he used to fuel, but dude, his real estate, and he's always been doing that, is why he's got what he's got. And then we were skiing one time in Deer Valley, and he saw the huge house, and he asked, "What's that guy do?" And the guy goes, "Oh, he's a hedge fund manager." And Grant goes, "Dude, I got to get a fund." And dude, within fucking a year, he had one. And
dude,
boom,
he pushes,
like,
bro.
He moves, dude. He don't play.
He doesn't fuck around.
He's a good marketer. He's a good businessman. But dude, if you want to get wealthy, just copy his real estate plays. All he's doing is buying cash flowing assets.
Yeah, he's fucking smart. The shit they're doing right now.
So is Brandon.
Off the chart. Brandon's smart as shit. Incredibly smart. Like Brandon's ability to like just understand the systems and structure and scale, which is why we align so much with him. I wanted the energy of what Grant and Elena were about, and at the same time I wanted like the detailed structured strategy with Brandon, which is why I work with him one-on-one to help us take what we're doing at Warrior to a place that can go global. I want to impact more people, impact more men. It's why Man the Arena tours happen, and the whole tour is I built another business as if I wasn't already busy with my 2 brands as it is. But this one's different because it's a collaborative experience. This isn't the Garrett show. I'm part of the show.
You're bringing in all the badasses.
All the badasses.
Where can people get tickets?
maninarenatour.com.
Man in Arena?
Man in the Arena.
The Arena.
In the Arena.
Man in the Arena.com.
Yep.
How'd you get that website?
That damn.
Is it maninthearenatour.com?
Oh, it's maninthearenatour.com. You're right.
Maninthearenatour.com.
Thank you for fixing my domain. Yes.
Folks, go get a ticket if you're at all curious as to freaking how do you get the perfect life? How do you get it all? How do you get all of it? Because I think that's what it shows you.
Yeah.
There's people that got a little money, but they ain't got the love. They ain't got it all. Like, dude, how do you get it all?
Yeah.
Start with maninthearenatour.com.
Beautiful.
Don't say Brad Lee didn't do nothing for you. Thanks for coming in.
You got it.
Dude, anytime you come to Vegas, you're always welcome to come by and shoot the shit.
I like it.
We'll make you a co-host down there.
Co-host.
Folks, don't say we didn't do nothing for you today. Hit rewind, listen to it again. Until next time, keep that shit real.